Rosa Koire is an author and a public speaker who has spoken across the world. You can find her work on our website, democratsagainst.unagenda21.com. Very happy to welcome the author of Behind the Green Mask, UN Agenda 21, Rosa Koire. Ms. Koire, thank you for taking the time to be here today.
My pleasure.
Now, you were considered to be a top expert on Agenda 21, and your work has been invaluable in bringing this UN agenda to light. Now, for those of you, the viewers out there who may not exactly know what Agenda 21 is, could you please provide us a brief overview of this program?
Sure. Agenda 21 is the action plan. It's the blueprint, the comprehensive plan that was signed on to by 178 nations plus the Holy See in 1992. It's a United Nations plan, and it's a plan to inventory and control all land, water, plants, minerals, construction, means of production, food, energy, everything on the planet, law enforcement, education, and of course, information and human beings. So this is, a comprehensive plan of action, an inventory and control plan. It's about data sharing. It's about money transferring from the developed nations to the lesser developed nations. And ultimately, it's about destroying your ability to have a voice, destroying your ability to have a representative government. It's about changing your government to governance and taking away your voice, giving your entirely destroying your ability to be free and to be independent. And the goal, of course, is to transfer power from local and individuals to a global governance system. So you can't do that all at once, and it's been a long process. And you see it as, exactly what you're seeing right now. It's a plan to disrupt and destroy the existing system. It's a plan of transformation and control. And that's what we're living through right now.
I would have to agree that it is absolutely taking place right now. And many people may not be very familiar with Agenda 21, despite the fact that this has been around for some time and it's taking place right now. But I would say that maybe more people might be more familiar, for example, with the UN 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, because we've seen all of the celebrities championing this, and both of these programs are UN programs. What is the difference, if any, between Agenda 21 and the 2030 Agenda?
Mm-hmm. Well, Agenda 21 is the agenda for the 21st century. And of course, you know that the century is 100 years long. And so Agenda 2030 is a 30-year milestone within the Agenda 21 plan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Prime Minister Jacinda Ardern.
Thank you so much. We've incorporated the principles of the 2030 Agenda into our domestic policy making. We've incorporated the principles of the 2030 Agenda into our domestic policy making in a way that we hope will drive system-level actions. And this is not just a new scorecard. It is about fundamentally changing how we make decisions and therefore how we allocate resources.
Agenda 21 is dependent on the Hegelian dialectic, and that says that a crisis is created and a solution is posed, and the balance between the two then becomes the new normal. And the balance between the two then becomes the new normal, which is something that you never would have accepted. But now that there's a crisis, then you are forced or pressured to accept this new solution.
Now imagine a world where mass outbreaks of deadly diseases are commonplace. Well, it sounds scary, but that might not be too far off. The World Health Organization has warned in a BBC interview that we're entering a new phase where such a reality is, quote, a new normal.
As the coronavirus pandemic brings life across the country to a grinding halt, Americans are facing a new normal.
It is a new normal that we all have to get used to.
I know a big question, Tom, from a lot of New Yorkers. When might we ever get back to normal? The governor talked today about working toward a new normal.
So we're going to a different place, which is a new normal.
This morning, almost 40 million Californians waking up to a new normal.
Social distancing at schools and businesses. You may be having dinner with a waiter wearing gloves, maybe a face mask, dinner where the menu is disposable, where your temperature is checked before you walk in.
During the pandemic, national leaders around the world flexed their authority and imposed airtight rules and restrictions, from the mandatory wearing of face masks to body temperature checks at the entries to communal spaces like train stations and supermarkets. These are ideas that we're seeing being floated right now.
A new normal that will hopefully allow America to reopen.
And looking forward into this next phase of reopening and establishing some kind of new normal.
Embrace the new normals of social distancing and sheltering in place, all the physical isolation.
Now masks are becoming the new normal.
Masks and face coverings will, from 11:59 p.m. Wednesday night, be mandatory.
What do you think? Can schools operate under social distancing guidelines? And is that what they're going to potentially have to do as the new normal?
When we get out of the sort of new normal and get to a new normal.
Just trying to cope with the new normal. This is the new normal.
A crisis is created and a solution is posed, and the balance between the two then becomes the new normal.
Imagining or reimagining what society is going to look like when they reopen. If you want to go to a restaurant, you're going to have your temperature taken before you're allowed inside to dine. So that's just possibly going to be the new normal that we see down the road.
We will be having to live in a new normal, as we were trying to say, with this virus.
We keep talking about this is the new normal. I'm just curious, when can we expect life to go back to the true normal? You know, when is this expected to peak? Do you guys have some sort of timeline or estimate in mind, or?
So, as I have repeatedly said, this is our new normal.
This will be the new normal until a vaccine is developed.
Thanks for having us.
So, Bill, you know, here we are. Many people are aware that you warned of this in the New England Journal of Medicine and during a TED Talk just a couple of years back. So what do we need to do right now in order to reopen the country to get back to, you know, some sort of normalcy and sort of set a new normal, whatever the new normal is?
Well, I will say it's three phases. The acute phase we're in now, the semi-normal phase until we get a vaccine, and the semi-normal phase until we get a vaccine, and then the truly normal phase after the vaccine has protected all of us.
Agenda 21 is the action plan. It's the blueprint, the comprehensive plan. It's a plan to disrupt and destroy the existing system. It's a plan of transformation and control. And that's what we're living through right now.
Agenda 21 is dependent on the Hegelian dialectic, and that says that a crisis is created and a solution is posed, and the balance between the two then becomes the new normal, which is something that you never would have accepted. But now that there's a crisis, then you are forced or pressured to accept this new solution.
COVID is the world's new normal. Here in New Zealand, we are all working as hard as we can to make sure that our new normal disrupts our lives as little as possible. I know the uncertainty COVID has created is incredibly difficult though, and for everyone. We are all in the same boat.